My dears, imagine if you're sifting through a dusty old jar of coins you found tucked away in a closet or at the back of a drawer, and your fingers brush over a small coin dated 1963 with the profile of Thomas Jefferson on the front. You look closer and notice it's a Jefferson 5 cents a nickel that seems ordinary and familiar, something you've probably spent without a second thought hundreds of times in your life. You think 5 cents, right? But what if that tiny coin in your hand, a Jefferson nickel from 1963, could actually be worth hundreds, even thousands of dollars in the collector market? What if tiny imperfections that you can barely see, a minting mistake that most people overlook, or a rare variety that slipped through quality control decades ago could make this everyday coin extraordinarily valuable? What if that spare change is actually a secret treasure? This is the story of the 1963 Jefferson nickel, a coin that, while common in circulation, holds remarkable possibilities that can send its value far beyond its face value, and in this script we're going deep into why that is, from its history and production to its current market value, the errors that can make it rare, and the possibilities that make it so valuable to collectors. The Jefferson nickel traces its origins back to 1938, when the United States Mint introduced it to replace the long-running Buffalo nickel. The design was chosen to celebrate the third President of the United States, Thomas Jefferson, and his enduring contributions to the nation, notably as the principal author of the Declaration of Independence and a key figure in the early republic. The obverse design, created by sculptor Felix Schlag, features a dignified left-facing portrait of Jefferson with the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date. On the reverse, a majestic American bison, long mistakenly called a buffalo, stands on a flat plain, flanked by the words "United States of America, e pluribus unum," and 5 cents below. This design remained largely unchanged through 1963. It is iconic, evocative, and deeply familiar to generations of Americans. In 1963, the United States was in the midst of a transitional period for coinage composition. After rising metal prices in the early 1960s made the production of coins more costly, President John F. Kennedy initiated reforms in silver coinage. While Jefferson nickels did not contain silver, they traditionally wore a cupronickel composition, 75% copper and 25% nickel. Their production was nonetheless high throughout the decade to meet everyday transaction demand. The Philadelphia Mint, which produced the 1963 P. Jefferson nickel, struck an enormous number of these coins for circulation. Because of this large production and the frequent use of nickels in commerce, the vast majority of 1963 Jefferson nickels you encounter today are common and have spent decades moving from pocket to pocket, register to register, toll booth to cash drawer. If you were to pick up a worn 1963 P. Jefferson nickel from a roll of mixed change at the bank, chances are high that its value to most people would be just 5 cents its face value. That's how it has been used for everyday transactions for more than half a century, to pay for cola machines, newspaper stands, bus fares, parking meters, and countless other small purchases where a 5-cent coin fit the need. In worn, circulated condition, where the high points of the design are smoothed by years of handling, a typical 1963 nickel remains worth roughly its face value to casual users and even to many casual coin collectors. But that's only the beginning of the story. Behind this seemingly humble coin lies a much broader narrative of how coins are made, how errors occur, how condition matters in the collector market, and how rare varieties can cause the value of a single coin to soar far above its face value. To understand this, we need to peel back the layers and explore both the history of the 1963 Jefferson nickel and the ways in which individual coins can be uniquely valuable. One of the first things collectors consider when evaluating a coin's value is its condition. Coins are graded on a scale that ranges from heavily worn to pristine uncirculated condition known as mint state. A coin that has been carried in someone's pocket for years, showing all the obvious signs of wear, flattened details, smooth surfaces, loss of original luster, will generally be worth only face value or a small amount above it because of its collectible nature alone. But a coin that has survived the decades without ever entering circulation, an uncirculated coin, retains crisp details, original surface color and sheen, and a sharp strike. These coins are far less common in older issues because most were used in everyday commerce rather than preserved in collections. Uncirculated examples of 1963 Jefferson nickels, especially those graded by reputable coin grading services like the Profess.